Hey, it's your local fish keeper, Sabrina. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone is safe and healthy. Sand substrate has always been one of my favorite substrates to use in an aquarium as it is soft for the fish and it creates a bright-looking aquarium. However, the choice of aquatic plants for a sand substrate aquarium are quite limited. So today, I'll be showing you some aquatic plants that I've successfully kept in a non-soil substrate aquarium. Before we begin, I would like to state that I am keeping these plants in a carbon dioxide injected aquarium, dosed with fertilizers and with good lighting. However, there are some low-tech plants in this list that can go without. Let's start. Java ferns come in different shapes and sizes. The one that I have is called narrow-leaf Java fern, which is one of my personal favorites. Next to Anubias, this plant is one of the most well-known best beginner aquarium plants. It is relatively a slow-growing plant and requires low to moderate lighting. Java ferns benefit greatly from carbon dioxide injection, but it is not required to keep this plant. In the wild, this plant grows in the shade. I noticed that if you keep Java ferns in direct, strong lighting, it tends to turn brown. Here's an excerpt from a book called The Encyclopedia of Aquarium Plants by Peter Hiscott that may explain why. Slow-growing plants, which often grow in shaded areas in nature, may experience problems in strong light conditions. These plants will assimilate nutrients and carbon dioxide at a slower rate, so an increase in photosynthesis spurred on by bright light may cause nutrient deficiencies within the plant, even when large amounts of nutrients are available in the surrounding environment. If the light is left on for a longer period, the photosynthetic period will also increase. It is possible that plants will oversynthesize and become damaged by literally wearing themselves out. To conclude, the change in pigment is actually a coping mechanism. However, excessiveness damages the plant. So, very bright light is not really a good idea for Java ferns. It is best to keep them at a temperature between 20 to 28 degrees Celsius or 68 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Java ferns do not like to be buried. Instead of absorbing nutrients, the root's main function is for anchoring. They absorb these nutrients mainly from its rhizome and propagates through rhizome division. Anubias too comes in different shapes and sizes. The one that I have here is Anubias nana golden. The plant care for Anubias is also similar to that of Java ferns. It has a slow growth rate and requires low to moderate lighting. Similar to Java ferns, Anubias do not like strong lighting, so it is best to grow them in shaded areas or near the bottom of the tank. Anubias do not require carbon dioxide injection to survive. However, it does benefit them greatly. This plant also has a rhizome and root system that do not appreciate being buried. Most of the time, you'll find this plant attached to rocks or wood at your local fish store. Temperature-wise, keep them between 22 to 28 degrees Celsius or 72 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Musa Flandre is another aquarist's favorite and comes in over 200 variations. I honestly don't know what mine are as I got them at a mixed Musa Flandre sale. They grow best attached to driftwood or rocks, such as in the wild. If you do plan to bury them though, ensure not to cover its rhizome. Musa Flandre survives in a wide range of lighting, from low to high. High and strong light conditions will give the plant a more intense coloration. While they benefit greatly from carbon dioxide injection, it is not required. Musa Flandre will propagate by forming new baby plants along its rhizome. Temperature-wise, keep them between 71 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit or 22 to 28 degrees Celsius. Similar to Java ferns and Anubias, Bolbitis hudiloti or the African water fern do not appreciate being buried. The rhizome of the plant should not be covered. It absorbs nutrients from the water column instead of the soil. In the wild, this plant is found in shaded areas with fast-flowing water. Thus, the lighting should be between low to moderate. Low light will result in darker green leaves, while high light will give it a light green coloration. Bolbitis hudiloti's growth rate is known to be between moderate to slow. It propagates through rhizome division. Carbon dioxide injection enhances its growth. As for temperature, keep it between 20 to 28 degrees Celsius or 68 to 82.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Another fern-like plant on the list is Hygrophila pinnatifida. They're a beautiful species that complements any planted tanks. Some do have a harder time growing this plant though, as it is quite sensitive during its conversion period from immerse to submerge, so I would recommend getting them in a submerged form for better results. They have reddish coloration at the bottom part of the leaves, which adds a splash of color to your tank. I've only grown this plant with carbon dioxide, so I can't say much about growing them without. However, upon asking some aquarist friends, they do agree that this plant grows best with carbon dioxide injection. As for lights, medium to high works best. Intense lighting will give it a more brighter red coloration. Hygrophila pinnatifida has a medium growth rate. They will send out runners, which then can be propagated from. They do grow big and may cover other plants, so regular trimming is recommended. Temperature-wise, keep it between 20 to 28 degrees Celsius or 68 to 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Hydrocotyle sp. Australia is a well-known carpeting plant and overall a versatile plant. Its growth rate is rapid in a high-nutrient carbon dioxide injected tank. This plant can grow without a substrate. However, I noticed that without adequate lighting and carbon dioxide injection, I have a much harder time growing it. They are also quite sensitive to temperature. Cooler temperature is definitely recommended. If you do plan on growing Hydrocotyle sp. Australia without a soil substrate though, I recommend placing it at a much higher part of the tank. However, they can grow in a wide range of light conditions, anywhere from low to high. In high light conditions, they will grow horizontally and densely, while in low light conditions, they will grow loosely and vertically. Besides that, I recommend regular trimming as they can look messy without. Temperature-wise, keep them between 22 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius or 72 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit, but I do recommend keeping them on the cooler side. Well, not exactly a plant, but it is great and so it shall be added to the list. Moss care may differ between species. Some moss types do require higher care than others, but generally they're pretty easy to keep. The one that I have here are mini Christmas moss. You can tie them to a rock or driftwood stainless steel mesh and they'll help make your tank look full and luscious. They do best in high light conditions and with carbon dioxide injection. Moss tends to grow better in fast-flowing water as this helps in preventing any debris to be trapped in between your tiny leaves. As for temperature, keep them between 68 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. Cooler temperatures are better. What's easier than any of the plants mentioned above? Floating plants, of course. Simply plop them into your aquarium or pond and you're good to go. They're helpful in diffusing the lights in your aquarium and fish love to play in them. However, too much floating plants in the tank may block the lights out for your submerged plants. So, whenever that happens, place them in other tanks or better, share them with your friends. The first floating plants we'll be looking at are the red root floaters. They're named red root floaters after their beautiful bright red roots. With proper condition, their leaves will also turn a reddish hue. Supplement them with iron to help bring out that beautiful red. Floating plants do not require carbon dioxide injection as they get their CO2 directly from air. Red root floaters do not appreciate a fast flow or vigorous surface agitation. They do best in moderate to bright or high light conditions with available shades. Temperature-wise, keep them between 18 to 30 degrees Celsius or 65 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Salvinia natans, also known as floating fern, floating water moss, and water butterfly wing, are absolutely beautiful floating plants. They are much bigger than the red root floaters and do provide better shelter and breeding grounds for your tank's inhabitants. Personally, I think it is one of the best fruiting plants out there as it doesn't grow very long roots like most fruiting plants do, so it doesn't look that messy. For some reason, this plant reminds me of Alice in Wonderland, like the caterpillar. The care for this plant is very easy. They appreciate a gentle and calm flow with lighting anywhere from moderate to high. As for temperature, keep them between 12 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius or 54 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is the end of the list. What's your favorite soil list plant? Do comment them below. I look forward to reading them. That's all for this week's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time.